We're here looking at pictures on cell phones and stuff because this is how seriously we take the show.
Yes, sir. It's Sunday night service.
Welcome to Sunday night service. Come on, chillins in from the outside.
In the room.
Come on in here. It's gonna rain.
In the room.
We're supposed to do like we used to do at my wife's church. They start singing "Yes, Lord" and coming to the altar and singing "I Need Thee," and then you get saved all over again before you can have church. You got to literally get saved all over again because the devil been with you all week long.
So you got to get saved before you start church.
Before you start church, and they'll deliver you at the end of service. That's how they do it. They get you saved again at the beginning, first, then you get delivered at the end.
That's my series: Save, Sealed, Delivered.
Save, sealed, and delivered.
That works. That works. It, man. I'm enjoying that.
My series is called Stankin' and Stumbling.
Hey, yes. Well, you already done the crazy.
How to be a Christian drunk. You know, how to be a Christian drunk. What's happening, Rashad? We want y'all to come on in. Welcome. It's that time again for Sunday night service, and it's a beautiful day. I understand if you're out on your porches. We might have to get an outdoor set.
That would be cool.
We should do a outdoor grill, a barbecue version of Religiously Incorrect.
We can do a pull up, a drive up, like all the church.
Did you say drive by? You say drive by? Yeah, we could do a drive up service, but we all just yell in the parking lot and people honk their horns at us.
Honk your horns at us.
I'm being dead serious. Okay, I hate parking lot services now. I'm saying it. I'm gonna put it out there. I respect and love to people who are doing outdoor services. I don't mind being outside, but I never want to preach another service where I'm being honked at. That can go. That can go. I don't want to be honked at. That's just. I'm sorry. I'm finished. I'm through.
I mean, don't mess you up. You trying to preach and
mess up your flow. They all honking in different keys. You trying to tune up.
Honking in different
keys. The Chevys are in A flat. The Fords are in B. The Toyotas are doing.
There's somebody trying to start their car. Somebody trying to start their car to honk at you.
Somebody trying to, yeah, right. And there's always somebody that honks too much, and then their car won't start at the end of service.
You don't know if they honking or they fell asleep on you.
I mean, we've had, and God bless one of my sisters. She wouldn't mind me joking about her. She bought a brand new car afterward, but we had people's cars breaking down and stuff. Like service is over and the cars ain't moving. The tow truck is coming in.
So now after you get done preaching, you got to jump somebody.
Exactly. Well, that's a George Johnson move right there. Dad would preach and then be in somebody's hood with his robe on. Yeah, so this is the life, and we're trying to laugh because it's a pretty crappy weekend.
It is,
Pastor Jeff.
Well, it started off crappy because your car broke down, right?
My car broke down. Well, it didn't break down technically. Okay. There was just an engine issue. I was noticing that the old Todd would have just kept on driving,
right,
till the car dies. That's what you're supposed to do, and just trust God to get you up and down the freeway. You don't know.
The engine light don't mean nothing.
Engine light don't mean nothing.
That happened to everybody's car.
I'm waiting for God to tell me to go to the shop. They just do that to mess with you. And these suckers, after I sat here, and I'll get this out and then we'll talk about Buffalo. These suckers, I actually sat on my car because I was this close to the mileage limit, the warranty. Mm-hmm. And I parked the car, then drove it to the dealer. And of course, the part's not under warranty. These people are talking about $1,000
Jesus
to fix that car. I said, all right, where's Uncle Jack?
Where's Uncle Jack?
Where's Roscoe from around the way?
We gonna make a part for this.
Where's that dude with the toothpick in his mouth?
We're gonna duct tape a part.
It's always the carburetor or the starter or the alternator. Mm-hmm. It can't be anything but the cars don't even have carburetors anymore. And they be like, it's the carburetor. You bring an old black dude in the neighborhood that broke down Tesla. That number the carburetor.
Put a little gas in that carburetor.
Put a little gas in the carburetor. All right. So Buffalo, man. Buffalo, 10 individuals shot, 13 shot total, 10 died. 11 of the 13 shot were black. Young white boy. Let me stop. That is too dignified. Young white punk.
Absolutely.
Young white punk who is probably going to claim insanity or some BS.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can't, I mean,
how you writing 10-page term papers?
You can't start with insanity when you writing and posting.
How people get away with that?
It's unbelievable. Privilege, white privilege. That's how they get away with it.
They have the complexion for protection. And of course, he was arrested
without incident.
Where they take them this time? The Sonic or BW3s to get some wings and
your models.
Your models.
Stick them to your models.
They took them to hop. This is sickening, man.
It is. It is.
And that's the only reason we're even trying to give any type, because it's absolutely sick.
We try to give levity to where
I'm pissed off. I said it on Twitter, and I usually don't share all my dangerous stuff to Facebook anymore. But so you got to remember the boogeyman was CRT, critical race theory. The boogeyman was wokeness, right? The boogeyman were these books kids read in school.
Right.
Meanwhile, there are whole groups online, white terrorist organizations who believe in what they call replacement theory.
Replacement theory. That's it. I was gonna bring it up. Go ahead.
Replacement theory, which is essentially there's too many dark folk.
Yep.
And the white man has to reclaim by, I guess, any means necessary.
Eradicate us as black and brown individuals. And we you know, to me, it's gonna get to a point, honestly, where you know, I mean, we haven't got to the point where we're just well, some of us haven't, where we just want to go, you know, y'all whites, y'all, you know, and just go but we're sick of it. We are absolutely angry. We're tired of being treated as if, you know, y'all can just shoot us, get away with it, and no.
At what point do you not so much advocate, but you wouldn't be surprised, you almost expect some sort of retribution?
Absolutely.
And I, you know, and I don't want to hear the idealism, because we all share the same ideals. I want to deal with reality.
That's what it is.
Reality is human nature. Sooner or later, you're going to stretch someone to their limits.
Absolutely.
Someone's going to be stretched to their limits, and that's reality. And I will condemn that act when if it happens, or if it were to happen. But I want to be very clear. I would not be surprised if it happens, because it is the, quite frankly, appropriate human response.
Somebody's going to jump on a cop while they're trying to arrest a black individual. Somebody's going to do it.
Innocent people.
Innocent.
It's not even. I don't mean cops aren't innocent, but I'm just saying I don't even think it's so much, because that's one level. The one level is the law enforcement situation, but there's another level of just groups of hateful people.
Oh,
period. Groups of hateful people, you know, that aren't law enforcement. And I know the cops, you know, I'm not saying anything. And I'm not,
we're not dogging the police.
But I'm talking about just these teenagers. Like, somebody's going to infiltrate one of these groups to find out. And I hope, put it this way, if I did have a hope, I hope they target it towards the people. Don't walk in a white suburban neighborhood.
And if you see these people on the internet, if you are on their page and you're really not like them, just turn them in. Taste something.
But they don't do nothing, man. They complain and report these posts and call the police, and they say they can't do nothing.
Somebody ought to be
you know, they reported about this young man the other that he was a part of a school threat last spring at his school.
He threatened a black man at school, right?
It's ridiculous.
Threatened a black man at the school. I mean,
this is why I believe in capital punishment.
Absolutely.
I believe in capital punishment.
An eye for an eye.
I believe in
target range. What happened to the target range?
Bring back. They one state tried to bring it back. And we don't want to just sound angry, but let two black brothers be angry for a minute.
But we are angry.
We have condolence for the families, but there are going to be plenty of condolences for the family.
I'm working on a sermon for Father's Day right now called Diary of a Mad Black Man.
Diary of a Mad Black Man. Well, I better cancel my sermon.
Yes, Diary of a Mad Black Man. And because I'm mad, I'm angry.
Yeah,
I'm angry.
You know, one of my mentors, my favorite people, Fred Harris, his favorite phrase is, "I'm Fred Harris and I'm angry." And I'm like, yeah, I'm about there. And I'm trying not to be that, but this stuff, man, it is frustrating. And then the silence from people.
Right.
You know, and I got to call out on Twitter and Facebook, you know, some of these Republicans, some of these white conservatives, some of these white pastors, you know, who will just say, and it's not that they don't address, because to me, it's not addressing if you don't call it directly what it is.
That's it.
White racial hatred. That's it. Don't say evil has touched our world. No, white racial hatred is flourishing. Mm-hmm. And you cannot claim it is flourishing in the other direction. Please show me. a consistent, excuse me,
It's okay.
it's root beer. Please show me a consistent pattern of Black people walking into white spaces to create chaos like this. White racial terrorism. It's what it is, and it's sickening. And you know, since people want to preach the Old Testament so much, you know, I'm cool with the Old Testament God dealing with people in the Old Testament way.
Right.
I'm cool with that. Y'all can preach grace and mercy to people that deserve it.
Amen.
Because I have limits. I have limits, man.
There is our angry moment.
It's an angry moment, man.
There's our angry moment.
It might come back, you know.
Tune in next week. Tune in next week for the silly.
Can I say one more thing before we go?
Go ahead. Be angry.
I'm angry. Well, this is not so much anger. It's a solution. Every Black person needs to get a gun. Black people need to get guns. And we can in Ohio now, apparently. We can just go out and just...
I have my CCW, but
I didn't. I've halted on doing it.
My wife and I have it, and I try not to carry because I know my anger issue.
You get in a place.
I know my anger. I know that I'm not the.
This cat be wanting to fight people at the school when the kids get out of school.
Youngstown will come out of me in a minute.
I mean, he won't even let the parent in front of him drive too slow at the crosswalk. Mr. Jeff Road Rage Stanford over here.
You know, he talking about road rage.
Right. Right.
Mr. Slash in and out.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna stop me because I know all the Warren police.
Mad Max.
My father's George Johnson.
Mad Max Johnson. No, man, it is what it is. But you know, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna pray for those families.
Let's pray for those families.
Pray for the Buffalo community.
And we just did hear that the cop, the retired officer who was murdered in that was from Youngstown
area.
From the Youngstown area. So we're praying for him and his family.
Can't catch a break.
And you know, you have to pray for kids. You know, I mean, every day my son go. I'm literally scared to let my son go to the thing right behind me. Yeah. If your kid wasn't over he would never get to go to the playground.
I feel it, man. It's tough. It's a tough world out there, man, with the craziness. But we're gonna keep it moving. Hey, while you're liking, while you're sharing, while you're hitting likes and hearts and tagging people, it's time for Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
It's Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
We thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
We are, these are all jokes. We are just playing.
Big Mike. Oh my. Oh my. Yep. It's prom.
Ooh, that one shocked me there. Boy.
Yeah, we didn't know where this was going.
This one took me aback.
Yeah, this isn't to me. And so, okay. So first of all, this is obviously a teenager. I hope. Well, I mean, it's a teenager.
Oh yeah, that's a teenager because the boy definitely dressed like a teenager.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, how far is too far? Well, let's just hit the other side, Pastor Jeff. All people are going to say is that this is just a leotard or onesie that you see swimmers, you know, or cheerleaders or whatever wear all the time. That's what's going to be said. That's what's going to be said. To me, it's a full moon. It's a full. All right, but I mean, all of these. Even these super sexy ladies, half the time who are not even in church, talking about, is this appropriate for church?
Right.
You know, one thing I want to say, Pastor Jeff, y'all done messed up Mama Nita. Y'all done messed up my church mother now. For a while, I was seeing nothing but classy pictures that were I was happy to see young ladies wearing classic dresses. Like, it's just, to me, that's that dignified, classy look. And you got to remember, somebody's mama bought that.
Well, you also have to remember that some of these dresses are fashion. And now, let's be honest, they don't cost what the Kardashians, like Pastor Kidd said, they don't cost like the Kardashians. But some are fashioning their clothes after what they wear on this red carpet. And, you know, I don't think it's the time nor the place. And
it's not the age.
It's not the age. Yeah, I mean,
That's stuff. That's like Met Gala stuff and, you know, Grammy stuff for adults. And again, you call us prudes all you want. She's beautiful. That's her body. This is that, you know, all that's fine. But
she ain't 18 yet.
You got one chance to send your kid out looking classy, you know.
And let's just be honest here. I don't know about y'all, but every man on prom day is looking for one thing after prom is over.
Well, I think they're looking for that regardless of what they wear.
Well, I'm just
saying
you making it a lot more tempting. You're making it a lot more tempting.
You know what? I'd have a hard time not believing that they ain't already crossed that bridge.
Well, so do I, but we're hoping. I mean,
you know what I want to see a picture of? You know what I want to see? I don't want to see a picture of this woman and her date. I want to see this woman and her dad.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the father. You know what I mean? Because I could never go for that. I think a lot of times, and you guys can beat me up for this, these are situations where fathers aren't present.
Absolutely.
And it's aunties and can I say something? Because this is just as bad for males and females. Males do it to young men, teenagers, trying to toughen them up, make them carry this image and kind of live vicariously through the youthfulness they no longer have. And so do females.
Oh, yeah.
Dress their daughters up, especially teenage daughters and young adults. I don't even care if they're legal or 20 and 20. Like, if a younger girl is going to be ratchet, which is what it is,
ratchetness,
let her pursue that as an act of rebellion, like a lot of young people do. Let her pursue that as sneaking out the house. And, you know, all our moms and even my wife, they talk about how they would leave the house in one outfit and then change clothes and be in a different outfit to go to the party. Like, make them work for it. You know what I'm saying? Make them, like, you know, my daughter at some point is going to put on something I don't like.
That happens a lot.
She's going to go out, right? But you're not going to be like, I helped you pick this out. It's obviously a custom pattern. They obviously, like, you know, this is not something they found. They ain't find this at Macy's. You know, they ain't find this at the winner. Listen,
that was not at the winner.
I want to take all the ratchet dresses I could find and be like, the winner,
the world's finest
off-price ratchet store. So, like, I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to take like some super classy store and just put these pictures on it. And if people say, you know, I'm criticizing their daughters, and yeah, I am.
That's great. The Vicky,
they might not have. Do they care?
Should they?
Do these kids?
Is there a dress code?
Do these kids even go to these actual proms anymore? They just go straight to the hotel after party at this point.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And by the way, we're doing this, and we got to guess. We got to get to the guess. We're doing this because we're overdoing the prom send-offs, smoke and sets, and people getting out of coffins and stuff.
Yeah, I saw the coffin. The coffin the other day. I was like, "What? Are you serious?"
People getting out of coffins, riding
for that?
Riding elephants and Sterling
was like, "Well, I mean,
what?
How much you got?"
We could use half of your insurance right now.
We just gonna put this on layaway for you.
We just gonna save some off of grandma's funeral. All right. Sorry, Sterling. All right. Now, this week's episode of Welcome to Hell. You know what? This has been a great. We had to get this out. We had an angry day. We had to get this out. We thank our guests for being patient because we have a great guest. We needed this. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
We need this guest. Now we'll be accused of ogling at a teenage girl or something. But you know what? You put this picture. Somebody else put this picture on Facebook.
Right. We didn't.
For the whole public.
We found the picture.
So it's practically child porn at this point. But whatever. You know. So with that said, thanks to our sponsors, Phillips Care family of businesses. Phillips Care cleaning service, residential, commercial, floor cleaning, basic cleaning. They'll clean out ratchet dresses out of your kids' closets. Whatever you need, check them out. Phillips Care LLC, or call Fernando at 330-219-7916. And while you're at it, we're all outside now. If you don't do your own grass cutting, if you want somebody to take care of the big jobs you can't handle, maybe you're elderly or know somebody that needs cutting services, trimming, mowing, edging, tree takedown, bushes, all that stuff, call Phillips Care Lawn Services. Lawn care starting at $30. Listen, Fernando, it's inflation. You need to start at $40.
He might have went up.
He probably went up and they ain't sent us a new flyer yet. It's probably false advertising. So check out Phillips Care LLC on Facebook. Our man Fernando has been a great sponsor. We appreciate the Phillips Care family of businesses. If you'd like to be a sponsor, you can always send us an email at religiouslyincorrectpodcast@gmail.com. Religiouslyincorrectpodcast@gmail.com. We'd be happy to take your money. All right. Introduce our guest, Pastor Jeff.
Our guest today is no stranger to the Youngstown, Warren area. She is the executive director of Action. She is my boss, as a matter of fact, but she is also one of the recipients for the Athena Award this week.
Yes,
let's give her a big hand clap of praise. Everybody out there, put your hands together for Elder Rosetta Carter.
I want to see lights, hearts, smoke. She's getting out of a coffin, folks. She just rolled out of a coffin.
She always prom ready.
She's always
ready
to put these young chicks to shame.
Dress to Succeed is what they call it.
Exactly. Hey, did you get that dress from Dress to Succeed? Did that girl get that dress from Dress to Succeed?
That's where it came from. I forgot to tell you.
Well, she's succeeding. She's succeeding. All right. How you doing, Elder?
Hey, I am blessed. I'm great. I feel good. And I am just so excited to be a part of you all.
I'm not a little bit too. You're not a little bit too.
Compassionate, courageous, and crazy.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Compassionate, courageous, and crazy.
Yes.
Share your thoughts on the front end, because we were talking about the Buffalo situation. Give us your thoughts, because I know your heart about justice and injustice and racial violence.
Yeah, I'm hurt. We're hurt. I'm hurt. My heart went out when I first heard it, that it could be some of our people. It could be some of us. It could be I have a grandson now that I worry about, 31 years old, another one 32. And he's an African-American man, and I'm scared. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and I know it, but I'm sensible to know that our Black men, there is a war against it. There's a war. This young man, and it's not mental. Come on, 17 years old. It's not mental. He knew what he was going to do. He knew it. Now, what bothers me is that nothing was taken care of when he was with the school. Something should have happened between that school activity and what happened in Buffalo. But nobody, parents, school officials, nobody looked at it. And so he purposely went there in an African-American community.
3-hour drive.
Oh,
3 hours. He knew. He had a bulletproof vest on. Now that wasn't mental. Okay.
Crazy
my husband was
at all.
He was a highway patrolman, so I know about. I mean, come on. And went there and just began to shoot. We heard that one man said something about he stooped down and just began to shoot. Come on. And I'm a crazy, mad Black woman.
Come on.
And I saw where Vicky said she's a white woman and she mad. We're mad.
Right.
We mad together.
Yeah. Yeah, there's too many guns. And then for DeWine to sign that about guns, come on. Why
it needs
are
to
you
stop.
doing that just to get votes? If people
Right.
want to vote, don't. Oh, just
Well, Dave Johnson makes a great comment. He says that at this point, you can buy a rifle legally, an assault rifle, under the age of 21, but you can't purchase alcohol.
exactly.
So they'd rather regulate,
Come on, Dave. I love
alcohol
it.
sales. Heck, they're regulating women's bodies more than they're regulating guns around here.
Think
I mean,
about
they-
it. Absolutely.
A whole abortion thing.
Yeah, they're
That whole
regulating
abortion
women's rights more than they're
Come
regulating.
on. Come on.
The abortion.
Deadly
Yes,
weapons.
yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And he's alive,
Railroad.
Sister Anita. and he's somehow alive. How about that?
Somehow
he's
gotten-
somehow alive and
had a steak dinner on his way in.
Yeah. How did he get to the police car alive? How did he get there? So
So we're gonna go because we want to make sure that we get you in here. We want to make sure we talk about this because, and I think that's a great segue because so many. Well, first of all, let's just start off by giving us as succinctly as possible what is organizing.
Well, what is action?
What is action?
What is
Let's start
action?
with
Let's start
action.
with what is action?
Action,
Tell a
the
person that
alliance.
never heard of action. What is
the
action?
Alliance for Congregational Transformation influencing our neighborhoods. It's bringing our people together. Organizing is bringing the people together. And that's what action does. We're a little over 21 years old.
All right.
And it was a little bit, it was some white Catholic priests that said, we need to do something. And so they came together and got with Gamaliel organization out of Chicago and formed Action because power is in the people. And
Right.
that's what organizing it is. One person can't do it, but a group of people can do it together. And that's what organizing is.
Can you talk to us about the relationship between Action and other traditional civil rights groups? Because a refrain I often hear is that fairly or not, that when something happens in especially impoverished or predominantly Black communities, that there are a lot of groups, civil rights groups that, and it may not be unfair, but it's often spoken with, they don't do nothing. They're not doing nothing. Now, that might not be true because they may have different ways of approaching it, but it doesn't seem to connect with the people on the ground in a way, that people feel like something really is being done for them. I mean, what's your relationship?
Right.
Because a lot of this action exists for a reason. If people were doing the work, action probably wouldn't exist. So it makes you kind of feel.
Exactly. Todd, may I call you Todd?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
You have to meet the people where they're at. You've got to listen to the people. I mean, so many people come to us to Action for different organizations, for different issues, for different things to do. We have to be able to listen to the majority, and we have to be diverse. We have to be diverse. But here's the thing, in being diverse, whatever the issue is, we have to be consistent with that issue and not let others take it away. And Jeff knows I'm very territorial. I'm we needed Eastern Gateway, and I pounded the sign to do it. But other organizations, it's civil rights organizations, it's like one little group. We got to be all Black, we got to be all this, but we have got to be diverse, and we have to listen to the people. And I'm not just saying those in the ivory towers, Black or white, but we have to get down on the ground and listen to the people and not be afraid. Oh, you said it. Compassion, but courageous enough to go to those that can make the difference. That's what it's all about.
Wonderfully said. What is the difference because I don't think a lot of people understand that there's a difference between activism and organizing. There's a difference between it. So talk to us about the difference between because a lot of people want to be activists, but they don't want to be organizers.
Well, if you look at what happened downtown yesterday, I think it was yesterday when on the abortion, and that was great. That was activate. That was activism. Those were just individual people getting together. But where are you going? Where are you going after? I think Todd and I talked about it. Yeah, we did the thing in Girard, and we know the unjust that was in Girard, or where was it, Girard or Niles, whatever,
Niles,
and what we did.
Make sure Niles gets credit for that.
Right. Well, yeah, Niles. But where are we going? What happened to it? I mean, even though there was no really nothing brought against anybody, but there needed to be a change, and we needed to have stayed on Niles police in order to say, okay, this is not going to happen again.
Right.
And that's what it is. That's the difference in organizing, Jeff. Organizing is winnable issues. I'm not. People come to me last week, and Jeff knows that we had a gentleman come to us about an issue at Mill Creek Park. Action will not be used. We're not going to be used. The man came to me wrong because he said, well, make sure you send some African-American people over there.
No.
Well, wait.
Oh, no. He didn't say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
You messed
up. The funny thing is,
you can send me. Hey, send me. I'll go.
Hey, the funny thing is,
send me. I'll happily go. I'm like, if somebody looking for a Negro, I'm the Negro you ordered.
And you know,
the funny thing is, he's saying, well, our young black people don't have any parks to go to. And me and Elder Carter are like, where's this park on McGuffey? I stayed on the east side.
Right.
And so he starts off, he says, well, McGuffey starts at Ursuline. I'm like, yeah, right. He said, you go down and you go past McGuffey Plaza and you go up. I mean, he all the way up in Coynesville.
He was in Coynesville.
I'm like, ain't no black people going to this park.
No.
And then what offended me,
you out there, you better call Pastor Juan.
Exactly.
Somebody tell Pastor Juan he needs a park out there.
And then he offended me because I said, wait a minute, I've got organizers, and one of my organizers, my lead organizer, she's a white woman. She can speak. But he messed up. And so after we looked at it, we decided that we weren't going to be used until, and Vicky Vickers, what she did is she looked into the different issues. And we found out that maybe he was just trying to use a so-called Black organizer. Jeff, Vicky, you're out because I know Vicky's on here.
Well, that's a good place to start because the problem with the individuals in the community, and it's not the whole community, but there are a lot of people who refuse to be engaged with long-term strategies and, consistent engagement until they have an issue that they want to pull on the infrastructure. And we're not here to say that you are not worthy of our support if a genuine issue comes. But I've been in that position. Me and Jeff shared an issue here in Warren with the person who felt they were mistreated at the high school. And this individual would never have anything to do with a church, with civil rights organizations, but now that something has gone wrong in their life, that, by the way, they often are at fault for. They want you to become their Al Sharpton. They want to become some cause. They want to put the weight of your hard work. And it's not just that we are entitled to dictate what's important and what's not, but you've taken the time to study and research, and put weight behind that. And you said a great word, winnable causes.
Winnable.
Because some people literally want to do things like, hey, listen, we need to bring equality to Mars, and we need to integrate NASA, and we're like, well, slow down. That's that's a different situation. So I like saying that, because I like you saying that, I should say, because you focus on the issues. And by the way, if you want to know what organizing is, by the way, check out white conservative evangelicals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Check out what they've been doing since the 70s.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
organizing.
Yes.
They've been on a 50-year plan,
Absolutely.
a
Yes,
50-year
yes,
plan
yes.
to repeal Roe versus Wade. Watch how they get behind that crazy orange man just so they could get the judges in that
Yes.
they wanted, so that one day they could get the laws repealed that they wanted. So that's organizing. And quite frankly, I said it to a friend the other day, and I want you to pick up on this, Pastor Jeff. I said, it's almost like when Martin Luther King died, some white conservatives went in his office and took his playbook and ran with it for the next 40 years.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
I love it.
They
I
literally
love it.
took the idea of the church, the idea of bringing organizations together, the idea of persistent and consistent activism until laws are passed. And they said, why don't we galvanize the white church the same way that they've galvanized the black church? What I like about it is that you take both black and white churches and you put them together into the causes that matter to the people they're serving.
Exactly. And that's where our diversity comes in. When I look at our board, we have a diverse board, but then I don't want you just sitting on the board doing nothing. I want, you've got to make sure that you're on the board. This same gentleman, his church was a member of Action, and he's like, I thought St. Charles was still a member of Action. I said, they haven't been there in 2 years. If he really understood and cared about Action, he would have known that. But now that you need some black people or some load of mod, in my banking days, it was load of mod people.
Right.
Push it. Then all of a sudden, oh, here's Action. Here's Rose Carter. Here's Vicky. Here's Jeff. No, you're not going to use us like that. And it's got to be winnable. I'm not going out to Coatesville. I'm not going out to that park. I'm going to Mill Creek. I'm going to West Park. Yeah, And what about the parks that are here?
Now we've been on, as we know, as Action, we've been on the news quite a bit lately, based upon this, this mobile market.
Yeah.
What was the need? And I mean, I could tell it, but I'm going to allow you as the executive director to tell it. What was the need for this mobile market? Why is this such a big deal at this particular moment?
One of the things that Action does is we see the need and then we look for the solution. At our public meeting 4.5 years ago, we put those that were running for office on the stand and said, we have no grocery store, brick and mortar grocery store in our area. Same thing for Warren. You don't have one. You go to the outskirts. We said, if you become the mayor, and it was 2 or 3 of them, will you have a grocery store in 4 years? Oh, yeah, we will. Not only, and you had to have it signed. We got a big petition and had it signed. We don't have a grocery store, but we were not willing to wait on the mayor. The people got together and said, wait a minute, we're going to take fresh vegetables, fruits, and all of those things to our people because they're dying, diabetes, high blood pressure, all of those things. And that's how we started the 4 years of the pop-up markets. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. The people might not be able to come to us, but let's go to the people. And in 6 months, we raised a little over $500,000 and have a truck on the road, and we will go in and out all of the community. Brownlee Woods is where I live. Somebody had the nerve to say, well, we're not in a food desert. Well, you might not be in a food desert. Say we're talking about in the area, but you still got people dying of old age, dying of all of the different things. So yeah, I'm not going to Canfield right now, but if I need to, I will. So
I want to follow up. I want to follow up, and I always joke and say the devil doesn't need any more advocates, but I'll be one for a minute. I want to talk on 2 points that might be a rebuttal to this particular effort. And the one would be that public officials can't force private organizations, private businesses like a Giant Eagle, like a Sparkle. And we're talking national chains too, not just the local ones, because we are glad that those people are here. They look at the demographics, they look at the sales potential, they look at the fact that people get to them however they get to them, that their feeling is that they are serving because people get there one way or another.
Yeah.
So that becomes a problem. And I've heard that from our local officials, like, what do you expect me to do? I'm just a mayor. I'm not the CEO of a grocery chain. The second thing becomes, what is the danger that an action or like organization might become susceptible to like the buzzword of the day, like food desert or food insecurity, that 5 years from now, people might not be saying the same thing anymore. Funding might go in a different direction. And really, it's people's eating habits. I can throw all the fresh food in front of you that I want. I can do all of this, but we live in a nugget generation. We live in a generation where people have a taste for things that are unhealthy for them. Right. And so like that seems to be like a pull and attention that doesn't get mentioned a lot. Is there sometimes are groups and petitions that we have people sign, but as far as the thousands and thousands of people, they're not exactly flocking, and they're not, and you're saying dying, and I agree with you, and I'm playing devil's advocate, so I'm not disagreeing with you, Elder, but I'm saying people will be like, nobody's really starving in Youngstown. That's the way they see it. Because when they think of starving, they think of Africa, they think of, you know.
We have to go one step further. It's not just people starving, but it's the education and their eating habits and the different things that they get. One of the good things about the mobile market is that we buy food from local farmers and vendors, so that helps with the economy. But we have to go a little bit further. One of my grant writers just wrote a grant where we want to actually work with the hospitals, the doctors. See, you can't just stop there, because it might get to a point where we're not in a food desert. But what has happened to our bodies while we are in that food desert? So we have to look further. We got a guy that is always on me, Elder, we got to, Ron, and we got to go on the food. Yes, we've got to go further. We've got to go into our hospitals, into our doctors, into our clinics, and so that we can.
How about schools? Are schools a part of that?
Absolutely.
I love it.
And I would just like to add, Elder, that oftentimes it's not even that people are dying, but people might not even have rides. There are people who literally don't, they ain't dying, but I can't get to Boardman. I can't get to Austintown to get these groceries. And also, not only that, we also do cooking. We do cooking classes, right?
Do cooking
for
classes
outside of the mobile markets to show, because there are a lot of people who might buy asparagus who don't know how to make asparagus. So they do teaching that. So I think it encapsulates so much more than just
asparagus is nasty.
and Todd, it is. And Todd, going into the schools, I mean,
Mike said no. Mike likes asparagus.
Mike likes asparagus.
We used to do the sewing classes.
Hey, some asparagus with some cooked in some olive oil, man. I'm telling you, do it up.
Hey, if my mother-in-law was on right now, it was probably about 5 years ago when I went over her house and I said, "Can I have some of these big string beans?" I didn't know it was asparagus.
Big string beans.
I didn't know it was asparagus. She laughed so hard. I had no idea. I'd never seen them. I just never. My mother never made
grew up in a food desert.
Right.
They're having that in our cooking class that we have for our senior citizens. And that one is so that people are not isolated. They're having a salad tomorrow, quinoa salad, asparagus with a little bit of olive oil. And then they're also having salmon, baked salmon.
I'll take some salmon. I'll take some salmon.
I knew that was going to come because he loves salmon.
Can I put on like an old man's wig and a cane and come to your senior thing and get some salmon? Because I will hobble up in that joint for some salmon.
We're doing baked salmon. But
I
yeah,
make deep fried salmon,
we
so
have
I'm not
to
a part
go
of your
through.
healthy eating. I learned how to make deep fried salmon.
I've never heard of such.
It's the
Ooh.
bomb. It's the bomb. I'm trying to die happy. My goal is to die happy. We all gonna die. Prince said it. We all gonna die.
But see,
Okay, go
that's
ahead.
about
Yes, ma'am.
organizing. We couldn't just say, okay, we're going to have a cooking class. We're going to have a activities class that the ladies have. We're going to deliver food. And then that's where we have the books. You can't just do that. You've got to make sure what you're doing is going to make a difference and be consistent to it. And it has to be winnable.
Right.
And our winning will be to go into and absolutely, Todd, the schools, to go into the schools. I have a meeting now with the CEO for the schools where we want to have that cooking back in there, because our young ladies who are parents now, they don't know how to cook. They don't
Thank you for telling that truth. Thank you for telling that truth. They burn water. Wait. When you go to the schools, make sure you brush up on your boxing so you can defend yourself at ease. Because boy,
She take me with you.
Cheney.
Don't worry about that.
Take Clubber Lang here with you.
My name is still on a couple of those walls at East, so it's a new school now. It's a new
Take
school.
Apollo Creed over here to East.
I went to Cheney. We're supposed to be sending the clergy down there. We went there. I stayed. I was supposed to do it 3 days. I did 2 days.
Right.
It was hurting my ears. Language.
When we talk about winnable actions, there are quite a few, especially when particularly when I was there. There was a action that we had to do against landlords, landlords, right? And it didn't seem winnable at the time, because he had several properties, correct? Can you just talk to us about that a little bit?
Well, we went to South Carolina. Action. I believe in action. We got something that Vicky's putting together now that we're going to do. But there was like predatory lending, and we got with YNDC. And what we did is we found out that the owners lived in South Carolina, but the houses were here in Youngstown. And so one was a house where the tree was growing up. And so we got not only with YNDC, but legal aid. And we took a busload of people with our action shirts. We had the yellow ones then. And we went down to South Carolina, 3 different places. Number one, we went to their business and they tried to buffalo us. So what we did, we got up and left. Remember that, Jeff?
Yes.
Then we went to the church.
We went to their church.
You went to their church.
He was a deacon.
He was a deacon? Y'all went to a church during his grandma's funeral?
Yeah.
You walked in there during his grandma's funeral? We like to make some remarks.
They called the police on us. And so we just wanted them to know what he was doing. In the meantime, we put little flyers and everything, all over the community. Then we went to the vice president's house. Remember that, Jeff? Mm-hmm. He lived out on a beautiful mansion out on the water. But then, working with legal aid, thousands of dollars was recovered for the people up here in Youngstown. That was the winnable, but that was organizing groups together. You see what I'm saying? And so that was the winnable.
Y'all on some Peter stuff, man. Y'all throwing blood on people and chaining yourself to trees. Hey, I ain't never get on Action's bad side. I know that. Dude, I ain't.
Well, you know
my boys' little league games running on the field.
Yeah.
If you're watching, I'm sorry. If you're watching and you have a question for Elder Carter, type it in the comments. We love to hear if you have any questions about organizing, about action, about some of the battles that she has had to fight. Go ahead, Elder Carter. Share what you were going to share.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say we were in, where was it? I believe it was in Maryland. No, it was Washington, D.C., and it was United Health that had a problem. And what we did is we had buses, and so we went into their into the office, the headquarters, but we took petitions that were wrapped around pencils and put the pencils in our pockets. We took a coffin. We carried a coffin
that they borrowed from
into
somebody's prom.
yeah, it was it. It was, yeah, we probably the same one. We took the coffin in because they were killing our people, and that was United Health. And then once we got in, we took the ink pen, the pencil, and we pasted it all over the lobby.
This is amazing. They going around unplugging ventilators and like.
I taught Charlene was with me. You remember, you know Charlene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Charlene was with me, and I told Charlene, I said, you know, they gonna throw us in jail. You got any bail money?
This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving
Absolutely.
it. This is the definition of action.
This is the definition. This is what we do. This is what we love. Matter of fact, we was downtown when they tried to shut it down, isn't it? Right downtown.
Oh, they called
and the police chief was there, right?
Yeah, the fire department. The fire department.
They said it was a fire hazard.
Yes, it was a fire hazard.
And the fire chief was there.
Yeah. Well, you did it. You were with us, Todd, when we did the little for the
batteries.
The batteries.
When Jeff assaulted that police officer with a bag of batteries, I was there. He flung them suckers like David and Goliath. He was like,
but seriously, we did go down. There was no community college here.
Mm-hmm.
And we did petitions, and at that time it was Strickland. And we took a bus, a load of us, and took about 5,000 petitions down to Strickland to get a brick and mortar a college here, because and that's what we look at. There was no college here. So we look at things that will make a difference, especially for our African American and people of color, because, you know, we're the ones that, I mean, come on, there is white privilege. So
absolutely.
And so we have to look out for our own people. If nobody else is going to do it, we've got to do it, and we got to do it together. We got to do it together.
One of the things that I want to say before we close, and I know Pastor Todd has one more thing to say, is that, and I do want to switch gears just a little bit, is that there are a lot of organizations, but we're not only grassroots, but we're faith-based.
Exactly.
Right? We're faith-based grassroots. So I want you to just talk about that aspect of us being faith-based, which really brings a huge difference between us and a lot of organizations.
Right. I could go to a meeting all day long and talk, but it's our pastors that have the power in their congregations, in their community. We have to make, and that's where action is. We are clergy driven. And each one of our organizations, now we do have some other organizations as long as they're 501c3, but mainly our organizations are led by our African American and people of color and our clergy, Black or white. That's why when you see Pastor Kidd as the president of Action, there's always a clergy who is the president. Now, another person can be, you don't have to be clergy to be vice president, but you have to be clergy in order to lead our clergy, because they're the ones that make the decisions of what we need to be working on. They're the ones. And so when Todd and Jeff come in and do the come and see, it's the clergy, because you can stand up in your church and you can say, this is what I believe in. Right. I can talk all day long, but I'm not a pastor. But if you are, and especially our Black pastors, our white pastors have been doing social justice all of the time. I mean, they've been doing it for years. We have been doing social justice, but as missionary. And then, you know, like the little missionary, I think one of, who was it? I'm on one of the boards, the African-American board. And he said, we've been doing social justice for years, but we've kept it in a little bubble in the missionary fund. And then we send it,
Right.
you know, just the eating and greeting and stuff like that, or we send it overseas. Those same groups need to come out of the walls and be able to say, okay, I stand up for it.
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit and switching gears about actually getting church engagement and why that is a struggle. And I want to talk on two levels a little bit, why it's a struggle. First of all, you know, everyone doesn't have the same ministry or mission philosophy about being focused on social justice. There are some people who have more of what we call like a kingdom dominion mindset.
Yeah.
They do their warfare in the prayer closet. They're, you know, and I'm not picking on anybody, but maybe I am because I do it all the time. They're not gonna pray. They're not gonna protest the police. They're gonna pray for a shift in the police department.
Right.
They're going to pray. And I mean it. I mean, they're going to pray that God shift atmospheres and break demonic curses and all of these things. And so that's a theological situation. How about also, if you could talk to me about the continuing decline of church attendance and engagement, and how long that can be a model, because to be honest, pastors are getting up, even if they do support the ideals of action, and they're talking to less and less people in their congregations.
Right. Yeah.
They're talking to less and less people. What used to be a few hundred at every church, now it's lucky to be a few dozen in every church. And that clout of the Black church is not the same. Our own young Black people don't believe in the Black church. So how do you feel that as a sustainable model, that as we live in this, what they call a post-Christian world and a more secularized America, can that still be the meat and potatoes, or do we have to stretch our bounds beyond faith-based? And whose fault will that be? I mean, it's not your fault that the church is not in a place and has not engaged, and they're not even able to grow themselves, and you are living in this world, but the work still needs to be done. So how do you address those two things? The theological differences of people who just don't see it that way. And I fought that. I've dealt with that. I've dealt with, brother, I'm going to pray, but I'm not coming out to the police station with you. Right. I'm not going to say those words that you say on social media. I'm not going to make those statements. I'm going to meet and have an intercession, and we're going to meet and pray. We're going to pray with the police chief, not protest them. That's what they're going to say. Yeah. We're going to pray with them, not protest.
Yeah. That's the importance of a one-on-one. That's where, and Jeff is doing it. That's the importance of a one-on-one with with the people. If I'm standing at the altar, I want you to pray for me. But if I go, you've got to feel the fact that I might be hungry. I might be naked. I might have to go home and be beat up against the wall. The Black church has got to come out of the walls and feed our people. Yeah, you can pray all day long, but give me something and listen to my hurt. Listen to what I've got to say. Right. And come down out of your ivory tower and take off your cloaks and your hats and stuff like that. You've got to listen.
I like my cloak. Thank you very much. I enjoy my vestments, my liturgical vestments.
You know what? I got the collar and I got the thing, and I'm preaching next week at Tri-Stone, and I'm preaching in that robe. I don't even want that. But we had
Elder Carter said it's sundress season. Yeah, he said it's sundress season. They gonna get all this work. God bless me with it. They getting all this work.
Yeah. Think about now. We marched.
True.
Nothing against last year. Stop the violence. and we getting ready to do it again. Okay, now one of the good things that I like is that there is a gas station that there's a lot of problems with.
Right,
And
right,
we're going
right.
to have our kickoff there. But on the other hand, I ain't marching. No, if we're going to have the kickoff there about that grocery store, now I want to either have that gas station shut down or changed. We
Right.
need a change.
Right.
Now, if you ain't going to do nothing, then I ain't marching with you. And I
Right.
tell
So
Reverend
that's just a
Simon
vigil.
that.
I mean, it's understood, but it's just a vigil at the end of the day. It's a vigil.
It is.
And I agree. And we support because we love our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
And we're great because quite frankly, there are some that won't even get out and do that.
Right.
No,
they won't even get out and do that. So I applaud.
You get tired of having these prayer visuals and and everybody speaking in tongues. And don't get me wrong, we do it all too. But stop the violence. And that's very night 3 people get killed.
Exactly.
And I think that speaks to. We often say, and I have a struggle because I lack the patience personally with people who say something needs to be done.
Right.
Yes.
And I often say something's being done. You need to join the people who are doing it.
That's it.
Something's being done. You need to be willing to do what needs to be done. To me, I feel like we are too intelligent. We're too smart. You're talking about genius preachers that can turn ancient texts every which way but loose. They can. And you mean to tell me that when it comes to actually making a difference in your community, you become a complete dummy and imbecile, and you keep saying the same sentences over and over again, if I bet you if you was lack of money, you come up with a fresh idea.
Come on.
I bet you get that offering up for anniversary. It's like, why can't you get to work? And I'm not joking. And I'm not. You will do pre-work after pre-anniversary, after service, after revival to make sure you have enough money for pastor's anniversary. Watch this. They're doing action.
Yeah,
they're doing action.
They're
doing it with a different intent.
It's a winnable cause.
It's a winnable cause too.
It's a winnable,
like a $5,000 crowd.
We only got 4,500 here. We need 500 more.
To me,
a little
I
bit
think you need
more.
to acknowledge that some people just won't be there.
Yeah.
I often talk as a young man. I say, being a young man, if I would have listened to all of my older peers, everybody marched with Dr. King.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, every nursing home full of everybody. You know what they did? They watched that brother on TV. That's what they did. And most of them criticized him. This brother had less than 20% Black church support.
Exactly.
Less than 20%, even passive support.
Yes.
There were people preaching against him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, knowing that there are organizations like Action, like Gamaliel, doing the work, often Black-led, white-led, mixed-led, whatever you want to call it. And, and truth be told, the NAACPs, the APRIs of the world, they have the same issues too. Even if they have a different approach,
Right.
they have the same issues.
Why don't they join us in doing it? That I look
Lord,
at
they've been
all
at it
of
for 105 years, and you've been at it for 20 years. It's the same reason churches don't do what they could do. Same reason.
Same reason.
We've been here longer.
Yeah.
And we got a banquet we need money for, so we ain't coming to your banquet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're trying to have our banquet.
You might get a little bit of change. No.
Right. But I mean, I think we have to be honest about that. And I even heard from an aunt of mine. She said when some years ago, she used to go around to churches for the NAACP. And they would make an appeal to join the NAACP and do things. And she came and said, we got discouraged. We stopped doing it. I said, I'll be honest. I and many people in my generation, I don't know how older people feel, we have not seen the immediate impact in our own lives that motivate us to say, man, this is something I want to be a part of. When you're taking batteries to the Niles police or a bus to North Carolina, or, ensuring that fresh food gets to, people who need it. To me, we live in a world where people are drawn to people who are doing not something. Just talking. Mm-hmm. And so even if your work is in a different frame, I respect the fact that some people go through legal and voting rights and they go through all that, but make it real to me. Make it real to me and how it affects me. And honestly, I want to applaud you, Elder Rosetta, and Jeff and the Action Crew and Vicky, because here's one thing you have done, and we can close on this, that a lot of Black organizations, churches, even advocacy groups have not done, is you have kept up with the 21st century and knowing how to communicate and at least have some form of platform in where people are. And I often say, you know, if you're not using social media at this point to advocate, to make your causes known, to help gather people, you might as well just shut your doors.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You might as well just shut your doors, because there will always be meetings. There will always be the call trees. There will always be the newsletters. But the fact of the matter is, everybody's rolling over and open up that phone to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter right away. And what kind of fool would I be if I had any kind of message to get out and I don't put it out where the people are?
Right. Yeah. And
it's like the world's biggest
organize.
town square.
Yeah. Organize and keep focus on the action. Keep focus on the action. And organize. I mean, and even if you don't just do and I get tired of the barbecue dinners and chicken dinners. And,
how many pigs have to die? How many chickens have to suffer?
Yeah.
They have suffered long.
The chickens have had to suffer.
Yeah.
But
so
we have an offer for you, Elder Carter. We have a pastor who's going to start paying a bail fund for you. So if you get arrested.
Thanks,
my good friend Pastor Davis started a bail fund, and we're going to reach out to you, Pastor Jimmy, about to come and see.
Absolutely.
About getting involved. Elder Carter, I'd like to hear your dream as a close. What is your dream for the next 5 years besides retiring? What is your dream? Let's say you get the food truck going. What would be the next big thing you'd like to see happen in the Mahoning Valley that Action could potentially be a part of or spearhead?
You know, I still want the brick and mortar grocery store.
Brick and mortar.
Yeah, I did. We were criticized by several groups about the brick and mortar for the, the school, the college. But I still would like to see a brick and mortar grocery store right downtown Youngstown, right downtown Warren. And that's what I look at. That we did it one time, and I realized the box stores and all of the thievery and all of the things that say, we can't have it. But I would like to have it. And if we would just come together, if our groups would just come together, and especially Action Warren, Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana, if we would come together and say, this is what we want, then and name the grocery store after me, Carter's.
Listen.
Carter's Groceries. Yes.
Rosetta's Fresh Produce. Come get your asparagus at Rosetta's Fresh Produce. I love it.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we go, tell everybody if they want to join Action. There are a lot of listeners out there. If somebody wants to know more about Action, where can they look us up at?
Well, usually the way we do it is you should be a member of a local church or organization that's a 501c3. But we have so many people that are asking to be individual members. And that's something that Vicki, who is my lead organizer, and also Jeff, my expansion organizer, that we're looking into is that you might not be able to have a vote, but at least you can be in the crowd that says, we're going to make the difference. We're going to Louisiana, or we're going to the White House, or we're going to to Columbus to make a difference. So really all you have to do, we have so many people, volunteers, people that want to come, and we will not turn anyone away. But we'd love for you to join. And so many times, our white churches pay their dues. They're not worried about where that money's going to. And that money, those dues are negotiable, and they go for the work that we do. It goes right back into that. We get grants that pay some of us, but the funds from your dues goes right back in to Action, to send you to training, to send you to different projects and programs. So yeah, if you want to be a part of action, and so many people have asked us now that they see the things that we're doing, just get in touch with Vicki or Jeff or myself, and we'll put you to work.
If we have some millionaire viewers, where can they send that big fat check?
Yes, send it to Post Office Box 456.
She got it. You see that?
Youngstown, Ohio 44501, and I will gladly put it in the bank for you.
She went Bob Barker on us real quick. She knew her address. She said, "Oh, if it's a check."
Oh, I got a cash
I know where to tell you
app.
to send it.
Oh, we got a cash app. We got all kind of stuff that we
I
do.
love it. You
Yeah.
can't take the preacher out the preacher. I tell you what.
Hey,
boy, get that.
Thank you
Get that.
so much. This has been so
Thank
much
you,
fun.
everybody. Give it up for Elder Rosetta Carter. Give it up for our engagement. What's your official title? Expansion organizer. Pastor Jeff Stanford, who is, if you didn't know, he's the expansion organizer here in the Mahoning, Trumbull County, Warren area. And he has tell them about it, Pastor Jeff.
Come and see. So if you want to know about action in Trumbull County, please come see us. Talk to me. You can call me 330-766-8476. It's on my cards. Everybody had the same number for a million years. Please call me. Talk to me. Let us know. Our come and see is June 8th at Restoration Christian Fellowship Kingdom Ministries.
You didn't put three churches together.
Christian Restoration Fellowship.
No, Restoration Christian Fellowship.
Yeah,
I gotta get it right. I hear
Restoration Christian Fellowship.
760
Main Street.
I know the
Pastor
address.
Joe Walker. Amen. Please come see us. We'd love to have you get involved
Yeah,
in what we're doing here in Trumbull County as well as Mahoning County.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you, Elder Rosetta. We're going to send you backstage and close up the show. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. This was a great Sunday night.
There it is. There is www.action.oh.
actionoh.com.
Yes.
Love it.
That's what you can give. If you want to give, go there. It's the gift. All the giving stuff is on that.
Right. So, I mean, Jeff, this was amazing. Man.
It was a
listening
great
show. Listening to the stories. I mean, y'all been on some adventures. Y'all been on some adventures dealing with advocacy. I mean, almost getting arrested, fire chiefs. I mean, y'all done got everything with dogs and hoses.
It was wonderful going down there in South Carolina, we had the pickets and
you go to South Carolina, Doc.
We was doing all. It didn't matter. We ain't care.
Y'all out there on them plantations and stuff, man. You see them trees with that one long low branch. You turn around and drive the other way, Doc.
That's
right.
That's for you.
The old lynching tree. No, I mean, we appreciate action, and we want to encourage every church to be a part of it. And yes, we're calling you out. We've talked about that somebody has to do something as you. And that something is being done, and you need to join up with it. And we're proud to have Elder Carter, who is already a regular listener.
Absolutely.
And awesome. If we go too long, she tunes us out. I want you to know that. If we go too long, she cuts you off.
And she will cut you off in a minute.
That's right. But, I'm the same way. I don't even watch people. I don't even bother disappointing myself. I just don't watch people. How about that? So, we appreciate you watching. We want to shout out our last sponsor, of course, Phillips Care Fitness, who are the owners of High Street Fitness in Cortland, Ohio. They will get your body right. They have programs for all body types, whatever your weight or fitness goals are. Mike Phillips will tune that thing just for you. He might kill you, but you'll look good in the casket. I mean, that's his Jeff. Jeff. This cat.
Mike, look at that.
Jeff.
Look at that. Woo-hoo!
There's the rock and then there's the boulder. Check out Phillips Care businesses, and we want to thank all of their sponsors. And if you want to be a sponsor, of course, you can always email us at religiouslyincorrectpodcast@gmail.com. If you have a meme of the week that does not include a high school girl with her butt out, you can email it to religiouslyincorrect@podcast@gmail.com.
You can send all your butt out pics to Pastor Todd.
And if you are that girl's mama, I don't care. How about that? I don't care. It just is what it is. But hey, it's been a great night. We'll see you next week with another great show. In the meantime, like and follow YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Audio version will be up very shortly. Until next time, Pastor Jeff, peace out.